We're very pleased to give you an overview today about the Transportation Engineering program at the University of Florida. We'll start with a few of the faculty. What you can see on the screen is the list of faculty who are offering courses, and you'll hear from several of us today. And then we will have a few of our students talk about their experiences as they've spent some time here in Gainesville. Just to give you an overview of the UF Transportation Institute, it's very interdisciplinary. We have several different groups that we're working with, from computer science to electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, industrial engineering, and human factors. We have a very active group working on autonomous connected vehicles and advanced transportation technologies. We work in teams with several other faculty and students. We have about 110 faculty associates across the university. You may also be interested in the USDOT funded center we have called STRIDE that provides several different assistantships to graduate students, and there's our research focus is congestion mitigation strategies. We also have extensive education, technology transfer, and workforce development type activities. And the map that you see here are all our partner institutions. So when we, for our research projects, we do have collaborations with all the universities you see here on the map. The other thing that would be of interest to you is we have the iStreet Real World Testbed. It's a collaboration between the University of Florida, the Florida Department of Transportation, and the City of Gainesville. And we use the University of Florida campus and the Gainesville surroundings as a test bed. We have extensive instrumentation that is being put in place for connected and autonomous vehicle operations. You see in the picture an autonomous shuttle, which we are in the testing stage right now in the downtown Gainesville area, and eventually hope to get permits from NHTSA to operate it and carry passengers, and this will operate as part of the transit service. Gainesville is a great place to live, great weather year round, except the summer it gets a little hot. But a lot of things to do. We have springs nearby, great cultural activities. We're close to Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, about hour and a half to 2 hours for each, and then about an hour and a half from each coast. So it's a nice place to live. The website, visitgainesville.com, provides additional information about recreational opportunities and what to do in Gainesville. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Siva Srinivasan, who's going to talk about his research.
Hello, everyone. My name is Siva Srinivasan. I'm a faculty member in Transportation Engineering. I've been at UF for about 14 years now. And my research, broadly two streams, one on transportation safety and the other is in terms of demand analysis. In terms of transportation safety, we have access to a great database of all traffic crashes in the state of Florida for the past 1.5 decades or more. So we are able to do a lot of work in terms of crash analysis and trying to identify countermeasures. We're able to have a lot of data on incidents and also able to study safety of vulnerable road users, whether they are elderly, whether they are pedestrians, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of access to data and application context. We've been using a whole bunch of statistical models in the past. And the new emerging machine learning type methods are also being explored. And with the advent of all sorts of navigation apps, we are starting to look at how some of these apps can influence travel behavior and safety. In the demand side, we've done a lot of work on activity-based travel demand modeling, which covers the whole spectrum in terms of trying to look at vehicle ownership, residential location choice, time use analysis, all sorts of things like that. But clearly, with the advent of autonomous vehicles, we've been trying to build models for adoption and use, perceptions, and then we are also trying to look at how we can understand travel behavior from GPS streams and other data streams, which are different from conventional travel surveys. A lot of our analysis is focused on the United States, but we've had students who have worked on travel demand models for other countries as well, and the most recent of which was for Ghana and Africa. And again, we've been historically applying a lot of statistical models, but slowly we are starting to apply some of the machine learning methods for these purposes as well. So broadly, access to a lot of data, very interesting problems, new apps that are deployed, and there's a lot of opportunities to do both data-based research and field experiments and behavioral experiments and so on. So thank you.
All right. This is again Lila Eleftheriadou. I'm going to talk a little bit about the traffic management and optimization with autonomous connected vehicles, which is one of the major areas of focus. We're in my group, we're also working on highway capacity type analysis. We have a project right now which is developing new methods for looking into spillback from freeways and arterials. We're also working on a project that evaluates and develops new methods for freeway weaving analysis. Several projects related to advanced technology funded by the Florida Department of Transportation, and looking into how do we warn pedestrians and bicyclists about the presence of vehicles and vice versa. So several different applications of advanced technologies for communications, connected vehicles, vehicle to infrastructure, and vehicle to vehicle type analysis.
Please, Lily, do. I would like to talk my research, and I titled my research lab as the Connection and Transportation System Innovation. Under this lab, we structure our research into 3 different parts or 3 different streams. The first one is we focus on transportation system analysis and the network modeling. Under this block, we have been working on several different topics. For example, we have several NSF projects to support the real-time in-vehicle routing for CV and connecting autonomous vehicle, connected vehicle, autonomous vehicle, and also electrical vehicles. So for this one, we are interested about to develop the coordinated routing algorithm. It's integrate optimization and the distributed computation technology together to give the smart guidance for connected vehicle or autonomous vehicle, so that we can keep individual vehicles mobility and also balance the system performance between network traffic performance. And we actually also work on have the UTC project is related to on-demand mobility service. Mainly we focus on the car sharing, and we want to integrate maybe ride sharing and the bus service together to make the system provide demand service better. And we also explore some research related to multimodal transportation system compatibility and traffic signal control system of operation. Next, I will move to another big part of my research is about machine learning and the big data analytics for traffic flow control. So for this one, and we have a couple of topics, and the first important one is we work on the vehicle platooning. Yeah, for the platooning, and we are interested about to build up the CV platooning, so that the platooning is different with the cooperative or adaptive vehicle control, because we're interested about to have the optimization model implement platooning control so that we can make sure the platooning reach to a certain level of system performance and save time and still keep individual vehicles mobility. And we recently work on the traffic event monitoring. Basically, we would like to collect the traffic data over the network, and by analyze this traffic data, we can somehow detect or predict some public event or some big event happen in the city, such as sports game. And we have some ISF projects support us to do the research related to vehicle-to-vehicle communication network, considering the effect, the effect coming from the traffic flow. Basically, the traffic flow will, dynamic flow traffic flow will affect the vehicle-to-vehicle communication network, and also it's going to affect how vehicle-to-vehicle information will propagate it over the network. And the last part of my research is related to resilience analysis and modeling. Collaborating with several other faculties at UF, we are currently working on the resilience of interdependent infrastructure network, and we also explore the research related to resilience of urban logistics, such as supply chain service. And with this, all my research, and mainly regarding to the methodology, we mainly use optimization, control, algorithm design, machine learning, or big data analytics. That's it. Thank you.
Hi, this is Scott Washburn, and I've been here at University of Florida since 1999. And more broadly, I'll say that, I work in the traffic operations area, but a lot of what I do kind of crosses over between research and technology transfer. So I'm involved in quite a few software projects. So if you look at my swashware.com site, you can look at some of the projects. There's many more too that are not listed there. Excuse me. But, one of the things, so if you're into, I would say if you're somewhat of a computer-oriented person, particularly if you like programming, if you like working a lot with computer code, then you might be a good fit with the kind of work that I do, because not only are we applying simulation, but since I maintain my own simulation tool, you would have an opportunity to actually write your own algorithms and integrate them into the simulation tool, and then we apply those again for research projects, and then some of the other software things that I work on relate to the Highway Capacity Manual. Myself and Dr. Lefteriotti are both very involved with the Highway Capacity Quality Service Committee, and so a lot of the things that we do, we implement into the software. And I spend a lot of time, probably too much time, on a textbook, but there's a good chance you've seen it in your introductory transportation engineering course, if you're at a good school, of course. It's the most commonly used textbook in the country. Hopefully your school uses it. Anyway, you're probably familiar with it then. So I do use it a lot, or I do spend a lot of time on that. And we're working on a update, the 7th edition, that'll hopefully be out for the spring semester. So with that, I'll turn it over to our next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Shilei Zhao. I'm the new faculty member in the transportation group. So my work can be mainly divided into 2 parts. So one part is about data science application in transportation. So under this scope, so I have 4 different kinds of work. So first, I apply machine learning methods to different kinds of transportation problems, such as travel behavior modeling, travel demand forecasting, etc. And I also apply and invent new interpretable machine learning methods, trying to extract useful information from the black box machine learning models. Third, I also work on big data analytics for emerging travel modes, such as shared mobility, micro-mobility. So what is micro-mobility? It's like e-scooters, electric bikes, things like that. And most recently, I'm starting to work on multi-source data fusion using deep learning. We are looking at different data sources, such as Google Place data, like Yelp data, and also together with traditional data sources, such as travel survey, in order to apply deep learning methods to understand the place of interest or why people travel to different kinds of places. So if you are interested in this topic, so definitely contact me. So the second part of my research is focusing on transportation systems analysis and the network modeling. So under this scope, I have 4 different topics. So first, I look at how to model transportation network as a multi-level complex system. And also I apply Markov chain to model traffic dynamics, estimate travel time and travel time reliability. And I also look at how to model and analyze network disruptions, especially during natural disasters. And lastly, I look at how to model and analyze transportation system vulnerability and resilience, and to see how this critical infrastructure resilience component can contribute to the building the future resilient smart cities. So that's the brief summary of my research. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Ray Guo. My research interest includes safety. So for example, how to do the safety modeling and develop countermeasures to improve the safety, especially for multi-models, including pedestrian, bicyclists, and the others. And the other part is related to sustainable transportation. It means we're trying to, for example, to explore how to get the surface transportation system to be more eco-friendly. The other thread of my research related to air transportation and also more related to sustainability. For example, we now have the emerging technology like the electric taxing. So how to understand the impact from this kind of electric taxing at the airport. And from the other factors here, my main duty is teaching. So I have a new research thread that is related to engineering education. So for example, I'm teaching the geometric design course for undergrad. So for that part, currently I'm involved in one research that is related to generative design with the human and machine collaboration to improve the design and learning. So I think, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
So in our next step, we have 3 students, graduate students here with us, and each of them is going to say a few words about their experience here. We have a very active couple of student chapters, the ITE student chapter and the WTS. And who wants to start? Fabio, you want to start?
Hello, my name is Fabio Sasahara. So I'm actually a student in my fourth year. I came from Brazil when I got my bachelor's in civil engineering, and I'm currently doing research on higher capacity methods under Dr. Lily's supervision. So my experience here has been very positive. I came here with a long gap from my bachelor because I spent a couple of years in industry, but the curriculum of the course is very comprehensive, so I could learn a little bit about all the main areas in transportation, traffic engineering, traffic flow theory, transportation planning, highway safety, and I could complement my curriculum with other courses that were pretty flexible. So I took a couple of statistics courses, academic writing. I think one of the greatest things about PhDs that we usually work on funded projects. So this is a great experience to start getting used to doing research on a professional approach, doing project reports and interacting with clients and working on within a budget and a scope and a schedule. Other than that, we have many opportunities to go to conferences. We have a very active student chapter of IT, Institute of Transportation Engineers, where I have spent the last days also collaborating, and I got many good opportunities. I think I can let Siddhartha, he's the president, talk a little bit more about that.
Hello everyone, my name is Siddhartha Kulare, and I'm a second year PhD student here. I joined University of Florida in spring 2018, and my experience has been really good so far. In my PhD, I'm working on I'm working on machine learning models and how they are different from statistical models in understanding the travel behavior. I think I really enjoy learning here, and we have a very good facilities for the grad students. The faculties are very collaborative and very easy to approach. We have a very diverse group of students here. We have students from different parts of the world, and it gives an opportunity to understand culture, collaborate, and collaborate with multicultural people. There are a lot of opportunities outside academia. We have a lot of events going on throughout the years. There are many chapters. There are many student organizations. We have a student organization known as IT Institute of Transportation Engineers, and I'm the current president for that. And we have a lot of events happening all over the year. We have field trips, regular seminars. I got opportunity to travel and attend many annual meetings for IT. And last, I would say Florida is a beautiful place to be in, and it has a very good weather almost throughout the year.
Almost.
And, don't hesitate to apply at UF, and hope to see you all soon.
All right, and I'm Steven Spana. I'm a fourth-year PhD student working with Dr. Du. I also did my undergrad here, and I started working in the department as an undergraduate research assistant many years ago. I got to work on some projects related to automated vehicles and ride sourcing services. So even as an undergrad, I was exposed to a lot of the diverse research topics that you get to work on in the department, and that was a big deciding factor as to why I decided to come here to do my PhD. And like the others have said, you'll have a lot of opportunities, not only in research, but also to present your research at conferences. I've presented at conferences both related to industry and academia. When you're in Florida, there's a lot of opportunities to travel within the state for many conferences related to industry. And we also go to TRB every year, and in a couple weeks I'm going to Informs in Seattle. So there's a lot of opportunities to network and present your research to others. As far as student organizations go, like Siddharth said, lots of opportunities. We have a lot of professionals that visit the department for both recruiting and research seminars. So you'll get to meet professionals in academia and industry. And Gainesville, it's a really nice place to live. It's a relatively low cost of living compared to other college towns. So it's like your graduate assistant salary goes a little bit further in Gainesville than it does in other cities. So that's a good thing to think about. There's a lot of good transportation. Like I take the bus to campus every day. Siddharth, I think Fabio bikes. So even if you don't have a car, it's very easy to get around, and it's just a great place to live.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Just to reinforce that if you have questions about the curriculum, you can check our website. You go to the Transportation Institute, ufl.edu. You can find the transportation engineering curriculum specifically. There's also more information on our programs and ongoing projects, reports, events, and so on. And again, don't hesitate to reach out to any of the faculty with questions. If you have an interest in a specific area, reach out to the faculty who are doing research in that area. With that, let me see if there are any questions from you, and don't forget to unmute yourself.
Yes, or use the chat box.
Yes, you can use the chat box as well.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. We heard one of the students speak about the different activities that they've got, especially IT student chapter. From the faculty or staff perspective, what types of networking do you have outside of the campus? Certain organizations, or what other groups do you have a peer-to-peer relationship with?
So every year, many of our students travel to the Transportation Research Board. We provide funding for students to go to that annual meeting in Washington, D.C. The students go on a regular basis to ITE, Institute of Transportation Engineers events here in Florida and in the region. The students are also very active in the traffic bowl. They've been champions here of our section several times, and actually international champions once or twice.
One runner-up a second time.
Yes, runner-up a second time. So the student chapter is very active. There are several more specialized conferences that the students travel to depending on the advisors' research and the type of research that they're doing. But as Fabi also said, a lot of action sponsors because the students who are offered assistantships for their PhD, they work very closely with the team and with the sponsor, and so they get exposed to that side of the practice. And one more thing that I wanted to emphasize is that all of our students have jobs when they graduate. Many of them months before they graduate. So when our students are very much in demand. That's why we have a lot of companies coming in to recruit. So for students who are wondering about their career path, there is a graduate from UF. The reputation of the program is great, and our students get hired very quickly.
Very good. Thank you.
Sure.
Great.
Hi.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Have you ever had received some asking for help in national or international events like Super Bowl or finals of any kind of sport that in which demand organization and logistics about accessing those stadiums or places like that?
If I understand you correctly, you are asking whether we're working with the analysis of special events. Is that what you're saying?
Or you study or you try to make some research about that kind of subject. I saw that some stadiums are near or very near our neighborhoods or some places that every day is crowded. So it's kind of interesting to know if you made some research about that.
Yeah, some of us have done that kind of work, and we also have a very large football stadium and basketball stadium close by, and so there's a lot of there've been several studies for the stadium evacuation, how you do signal control around that. We have 90,000 people in the stadium that's right across our offices. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think it's related to some research I'm talked just now. You're right that the stadium usually is around the neighborhood, and for UF, there are big stadiums on campus. So if there any event happens there, it's going to affect the traffic around this place. So we have research work on that. We try to get the traffic data around this stadium or the big event venue, so that by analyzing those data, we can somehow predict the occurrence of this event ahead of time. So that it's going to help traffic in advance. So we can do proactive traffic control, such as signal control or intersection control, or maybe close some line, open some other line to make the traffic become better if the event is really very close. Because at that time, a lot of traffic will run into the venue of the event, with that traffic at that moment is going to be very difficult. Another thing is if this kind of occurring of event can be announced, for example, 1 hour, 2 hours early, and some people can avoid the traffic congestion around that place to run about some other route to have their traffic. So this is exactly some research happened in my research lab, and also there are some others related to some research in other faculty in this institute.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions? If you want to share a little bit about where you're from and what kind of a program you're looking for, and whether you're interested in master's or PhD or the research areas you're interested in, we'd like to hear from you.
Me?
Anybody.
Oh, well, I'm looking for a master.
Master.
In transportation, specifically in that kind of event. I came from a country which a concert or sport event can affect heavily in the normal traffic, and especially at peak points.
What country are you from?
I'm from Central America, Panama. Panama City. Panama, yeah.
Okay. We have a graduate student here from Panama, so if you have an interest, we can put you in touch with him, and he can give you his own perspective.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to send me an email, then I'll put you in touch with him.
Hello. Thank you for your good information that you share with us. I'm currently graduated from master's degree in American University of Technology, and I got familiar with your meeting from one of my friends that is currently your PhD student. And I wanted to know about your research areas, and it was a good thing to know about your topics. And I'm currently looking for a PhD opportunity. I'm wondering to ask you, how can I apply? What is your requirements and this kind of things?
So there is an online application process. If you cannot find it and you email me, I'll send you that information. We always wait for the application to be complete before we evaluate. And the group that you've heard from today, we look at all the applications. We determine how many we're going to make as a group. And then we select the top candidates. And so the process is very competitive. And we try to make decisions, especially funding decisions, early in the process. So the earlier you apply, the better your chances for financial aid.
Oh,
and
okay, thank you.
I know that we get a lot of emails from people asking whether we can make a decision, whether they will be accepted or not, and this is not something we can do. The application has to be reviewed officially by the graduate school, by all the transportation faculty, and we need to have everything, the scores, the recommendation letters, before a decision is made. Hi, Gaurav. You graduated from here. You're back.
Yeah, hello faculties, hi students. Yep, I graduated with my master's 2 years back in 2017, and right now I'm at HNTB Tallahassee, working at the central office and some other projects from District 3, Florida. And yeah, I wanted to catch up and then listen from you guys about the projects that you guys are working on. But sorry for joining in late, but I hope, if you have the recording online, I can get back and look at the projects that's happening at the UFTI.
Good to hear from you. Anything you can share with the group as an alum?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the 2 years for my master's at UF was it was a great learning for me, especially coming out of undergrad. I always knew I wanted to to do something in transportation, but doing the masters gave me an exposure to a funded projects, like the actual professional aspect or approach to a particular project that I worked on. And the curriculums are so comprehensive. At the same time, we can take electives from other departments like statistics and from urban planning, from computer science. That helps us to get to know more in depth about our applications of the projects that we work on. So it was a great opportunity, which I'm glad I did my master's there. And of course, the faculties are so approachable and always there to guide you through the academics or the curriculum or the profession, the career. So it really helps a lot.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us.